To the ancient Greeks, they were the ultimate adversaries, a fierce, independent society roaming the uncharted edges of the known world, a nation entirely devoid of men, matching the greatest heroes of Hellenic myth blow for blow in brutal combat. For over 2,000 years, historians dismissed these warrior women as mythology. As the discipline of history matured, scholars categorized the Amazons alongside centaurs, cyclopes, and the Minotaur. Yet the Greeks could not stop depicting them. They were painted on terracotta amphorae and carved into the marble of the Parthenon. These mythological battles, known as the Amazonomachy, served as a political metaphor for civilized Hellenic order subduing barbaric chaos. This deeply ingrained mythological lens created a massive historical blind spot. The focus on Greek storytelling caused centuries of scholarship to ignore the physical reality buried right next door. The truth lay hidden beneath the rolling grasslands stretching from the Black Sea to the Altai Mountains. Here, early archaeologists began opening monumental burial mounds known as kurgans. Inside these tombs, they found the remains of elite nomadic horse riders. The skeletons were interred alongside immense wealth, sacrificed horses, and an array of lethal weaponry. When 19th century excavators encountered these graves, they applied Victorian societal assumptions to the dirt. If a skeleton was buried with a heavy sword and armor-piercing arrows, it was logged as a male chieftain by default. This unscientific assumption forced the real history of steppe women back into the realm of folklore. The evidence waited in museum archives until modern forensics could reopen the cold case. In the late 20th century, bioarchaeologists began physically re-examining these mislabeled skeletons. This 3D model highlights the biological foundation of the research. While environmental degradation can make identification difficult, a well-preserved human pelvis provides definitive markers. The wider subpubic angle and broader sciatic notch identified a significant percentage of these warriors as biological women. Bones record a detailed biomechanical diary of a person's life. Constant bareback riding without stirrups requires continuous gripping strength from the legs. This specific lifelong stress remodels the shape of the hip socket, a condition bioarchaeologists term horse riding syndrome. Beyond signs of riding, the paleopathology tells a violent story. Skeletons display catastrophic healed combat trauma, including perifractures on the forearms, defensive bone breaks that occur specifically when raising an arm to block a heavy sword. In several cases from the Russian borders to Armenia, violently bent bronze arrowheads were found lodged permanently deep within female femurs and body cavities. Evidence suggests frontline cavalry units were composed of highly trained women who lived, fought, and died in the chaos of battle. Advanced bone remodeling proves they often survived these wounds to ride to war again. This map shows the massive green span of the Eurasian steppe, contrasted with the sedentary Greek world. The continental climate demanded extreme mobility. In a world where a tribe's livelihood could be stolen overnight, a society required every member to defend the herds. Every member of the tribe had to ride and hunt. The tool that made this egalitarian defense physically possible was the Scythian composite bow.
This was a prehistoric engineering marvel. It utilized a flexible wooden core backed with dried animal sinew to handle immense tensile stretching. The belly of the bow was faced with dense animal horn, possessing extraordinary compression strength. Glued together and shaped into a recurve profile, the weapon stored massive kinetic energy. This mechanical advantage decoupled battlefield lethality from pure lifting strength. An armor-piercing arrow fired by a skilled female rider hits just as hard as one fired by a man. The combination of this specific engineering and masterful horsemanship neutralized physical gender differences. On the steppes, technology and speed replaced physical mass. Physical bones proved they fought, but extracting ancient DNA from the pulp of teeth revealed exactly where these women sat in the ancient hierarchy. In 2026, researchers at the Max Planck Institute sequenced the genome-wide DNA of Iron Age individuals across the steppe. They mapped the pathways of political power among the nomads. Comparing individuals in gold-filled kurgans with those in simpler graves, the data proved that supreme political power was inherited. It belonged to exclusive, extended family dynasties, rather than being earned purely by individual martial merit. The demographic data reveals a massive shift in our understanding of the steppe. Nearly half of all the elite individuals identified at the top of the social hierarchy were genetically female. The Golden Man of Kazakhstan, buried in thousands of gold ornaments, was genetically confirmed as male. But his burial at 17 years old, before he could achieve martial greatness, confirms that extreme power in Scythia was a birthright. Elite women regularly held, wielded, and passed down the highest political authority in the ancient world. They were dynastic rulers of the Iron Age networks. If these women were pragmatic, nomadic equals, why did the Greeks paint them as an isolated, man-hating cult? The answer lies in the architecture of Athens. Classical Greek identity was patriarchal. Women were confined indoors and treated as perpetual minors. Facing a society that allowed women to ride horses and wear trousers shattered the Greek worldview. These faces show the Greeks were drawing from direct encounters. Linguists analyzing the seemingly nonsensical inscriptions painted next to Amazons discover they are phonetic spellings of real Scythian and Caucasian names. The Athenians were painting living steppe warriors and labeling them with authentic foreign names. Then they warped those encounters into mythology, creating monsters to soothe their own deep-seated patriarchal anxieties. The breast-amputating, male infant-killing Amazons exist only in Greek literature. The real women of the steppes engaged in highly sophisticated communal rituals. They brewed strong liquid opium in pure gold vessels and bathed in enclosed tents filled with cannabis smoke to relieve the physical pains of a harsh life. High-altitude permafrost in the Altai Mountains has preserved their bodies, revealing skin adorned with hand-poked tattoos of animal combat scenes. These markings signified high status and immense pain endurance. Modern science has successfully stripped away 2,500 years of fear and mythology. The real Amazon was a mother, a master artisan, a lethal cavalry archer, and an undisputed ruler of the Eurasian steppes.